Everybody, this is Herb from World of Walt, and it is time for another day of some Disney fun with some trivia and some chat. Not able to get into the parks these days, but I'm glad that we can still have some fun here together. Topher is on the line. Hey Topher, how's it going? Debbie and Melissa, good morning to you. Thank you for joining me. Today I've got some fun questions lined up. Everything from the Orange County Task Force, which is talking about the new rules that theme parks here in Florida may need to follow when they open up, all the way to the speed of the rock and roller coaster. We'll have some fun together. Appreciate everyone joining me here today. Deb, hello. Good to see you as well. Timothy, good morning. Diane from New Hampshire, thanks for calling in. Appreciate that. Eric, good to see you from sunny Ohio. We have a sunny day here in Florida as well. So as we have been doing for the past several weeks, we've got some questions, some fun, and a giveaway. Kathy shared the video. Kathy, thanks for doing that. It's a great way to get the word out. I appreciate it. Donna, hello to you. I appreciate everyone being here. Thanks for the kind comments in the comment section as well. So I'm going to jump into the first trivia question today. I'm always interested in hearing about what everyone is thinking, what everyone is doing. So I've got the first question up and I'm going to post it in the poll. Hopefully, if Facebook technology decides to cooperate, you will see a poll question on your device. If you don't see it, you may just want to jump back out and back in again, and you'll have an opportunity to vote, and I'll be able to tally the votes and give you the percentages. If you don't see it, you can still respond in the live chat. So here's my question. Are you going to be heading out next week? I know a lot of states are making plans, and some have already done so to begin a reopening process. In Florida, the governor has said that restaurants will be able to reopen at a limited capacity starting next week, as well as some other locations. So I'm wondering, are you going to be heading out next week? Karen, good morning to you from Massachusetts. Thanks for being here. And Donna, hello to you. Tony, good morning. Thanks for being on the live broadcast. So I see the response is starting to come back in if you're going to be heading out next week. Right now, about 38% of the people are saying yes, and 64% of the people are saying no. Linda said still stay-at-home orders in Maryland. Emily has to work, but she's at home as much as possible. So it looks like about a third of the people are going to be heading out next week, and about 2/3 of the people are saying no. So I'll go ahead and show the results there. Hopefully that's coming through. Thanks for sharing. I'm interested in what's going on with you and yours these days. Eric sent wet and got his hair cut yesterday in California. Okay, I actually have a haircut question coming up in the trivia, so it's going to be fun. Beryl, stay-at-home order in North Carolina till May 8th. So it looks like different states have got different timelines. Heidi said Iowa is halfway opened. Been working the whole time. A lot of people have been working, and for all the essential workers, healthcare workers, thanks for everything you're doing to keep the world moving. Okay, let's take a look at our second question. So there's been a lot of interesting news this past week. Yeah, I'm getting a phone call. I have to shut that off. Not sure who that was. Sorry about that. Let's see if I can get the next question here fired up. Okay, let's publish this poll. So, here is the question. The Orange County Task Force said that large theme parks can open at this percentage of capacity. Is it 25%, 50%, or 75%? So the Orange County Task Force is one of many government agencies. It's the one that covers Orange County. Orange County is where most of Disney property is in Orlando, and they have been making recommendations on opening of lots of different businesses in the area locally. And so the Orange County Task Force is making recommendations to the governor, or excuse me, to the mayor. And this week they said that theme parks, large theme parks like Disney and Universal, could open at what capacity level? Is it 25%? Is it 50%? Or is it 75%? Natalie's guessing 25, Karen is guessing 50, Michelle is guessing 25, Sue from the UK, how's it going, Sue? Patty's guessing 50%, so we got a lot of guesses all over the board here. It's interesting that these recommendations came out earlier this week. I believe they have not been finalized though, and that the mayor is still considering some of the wording. So interestingly enough, the Orange County Task Force recommended that theme parks be able to open at 50%. 50%. So they have made that recommendation. We'll see if that actually holds. Phyllis guessed 50%. Good job. Okay, thanks everyone. Tracy said first care emoji. Susan is in Kissimmee, just down the road. Good to see you. John gives the shameless plug for the Pin of the Month Club. John, thank you for putting the link in the chat. And I guess it's time for me to share that with you. If you'd like a little bit of Disney fun delivered to your home every month, check out pinofthemonthclub.com. Okay, so the answer, whoops, got to get the answer up here, 50%. So again, this was a recommendation from the Orange County Task Force on the capacity level that large theme parks should hold to during first phases of reopening. Interesting times. All right, so this is the announcement for the prize that you can win this week. During these broadcasts, I like to give away prizes, and I'm happy to share one with you this week. If you would like to win this pin, which is a Nemo pin, it's got kind of a fun 3D effect. Here's what you can do. Send an email to me. Send that email to info@worldofwalt.com, and in the subject line, put the word Nemo, and enter by this coming Tuesday, May 5th. I'll pick out one lucky winner and send you this theme park pin. Again, if you'd like to win, send an email to me, info@worldofwalt.com. In the subject, put the word Nemo. You don't have to put anything in the body. Allison says, loves the Nemo pin, or loves Nemo. Me too. It'd be a lot of fun. Doug said, will resort hotels be open? So there aren't actually any announcements yet and details yet about what's going to happen for the Disney Resort. No announcement plans have been made. So far, it's just government task forces that have been making recommendations. So we'll see what happens once those recommendations get finalized and once Disney starts to make announcements for plans. Christy said the pin is adorable. Glad you like it. One lucky person is going to get it, so if you'd like to win, go ahead and send me an email. All right, let's move to the next question. Catherine said, nice pin. Thank you. All right, let me get this question up here on the poll. And this one is about the Rock and Roller Coaster. So the Rock and Roller Coaster, one of my favorite coasters in all of Walt Disney World, really one of my favorite coasters anywhere. Great theming, great thrills. Can accelerate from 0 to 57 miles per hour in this time. Is it 2.8 seconds, 3.5 seconds, or 4.2 seconds? So Rock and Roller Coaster accelerates from 0 to 57 in this amount of time. Hopefully you'll see a poll showing up on your device. You can also just respond in the chat. It's all just for fun. Kathy said, Rock and Roller Coaster is a favorite ride, one of mine too. Penny from Ohio, how's it going, Penny? Hope you're having a good Saturday morning. Brenda said Rock and Roller Coaster is her favorite ride. And Julie is joining us from Redding, California. Thanks everyone, good to see you. Hope you're having a good Saturday. Amanda's guessing 2.8 seconds. So again, the question is Rock and Roller Coaster accelerates from 0 to 57 in 2.8, 3.5, or 4.2 seconds. So far, the answers are pretty evenly split. About half the people are saying 2.8, a third are saying 3.5, and 15% 4.2. I guess that's not very evenly split, but it was a moment ago. Jessica from New Jersey, how's it going? Thanks for being here on the live broadcast. Joanne says Rock and Roller Coaster is a favorite. I like it too. Tommy from Alabama, hello to you. Tina is guessing 2.8, and actually Tina is right. So the Rock and Roller Coaster can accelerate from 0 to 57 in an amazing 2.8 seconds. A very fun start to the ride. Stacy, good morning to you. Says thanks for the trivia. Thank you for joining. Just appreciate it. Ron just shared the Facebook Live. Ron, thank you for doing that. I appreciate everyone who shares the video. It's a good way to get the word out. A good way to share and make sure other folks are joining in too. Deb says, wow, yeah, 2.8 seconds. That's pretty quick. Kathy got it right. Good job, Kathy. 2.8 seconds. All right, so let's move on to the next one. This is kind of a yes-no question. Let me get the poll up here. And this one may be a little bit of a controversial one because I know lots of people have different feelings about the various design elements in the Disney park. But here's my question. Did you like the old or the new design to the animation courtyard archway? So on the left-hand side, you see the old design. You can see the word studios was highlighted and Mickey Mouse with the clapboard was in the middle. So that was the old design on the entranceway to the animation courtyard in Disney's Hollywood Studios. Over on the right hand side is the new design. This is the design as it exists in the park today. It shows Hollywood highlighted, a little more simple, and no characters. When we first saw the concept art for this new design and for the park's logo, originally they were characters, Mickey Mouse, BB-8, and Woody in the O's of Hollywood, those three O's. But when we actually saw the design implemented on the animation courtyard arch, there were no characters. So I'm wondering, which did you like better? Did you like the old arch or did you like the new one? Overwhelmingly so far, 87% of people are saying they like the old arch better, 12% saying they like the new one. Debbie said love the old design with Mickey much better. Pamela says loves both, but the old is a favorite. Jeffrey's going to vote for the Mickey Mouse arch, the old one. Candace said, can't wait for another relaxing stroll through the parks. Me too. I'm very much looking forward to whenever they're going to open up. Can't wait to get back in the parks and hopefully get back to doing Saturday morning broadcasts from Walt Disney World property. But I got to say, I am still having a lot of fun doing the live broadcasts here with you, so I appreciate your joining me. Bling says likes the old. Tony says likes the old one better. Okay, yeah, it looks like it's about an 80-20 split. 80% of the people like the old one better. Maybe 18-20% like the new one better. All right, let us move on to the next question. Let me get the poll fired up here. So this is another question about the Orange County Task Force. A lot of news this week about that task force because they're the local government body that's going to make county-wide regulations that will impact when and how theme parks, including Walt Disney World, will be able to open up. So the Orange County Task Force said these people at large theme parks should wear face masks once the parks open. Is it employees? Is it guests? Or is it everyone? So Orange County Task Force made a recommendation, which has not been sort of formalized yet, but it was their proposal that these people in large theme parks like Walt Disney World should wear face masks once the parks reopen. Is it employees? Is it guests? Or is it everyone? Kim and Dolores are guessing cast members. Carrie is guessing employees. Christina is guessing both. So we don't yet know what the final rule is going to look like, but this was the proposal so far. Deb says everyone. Kathy is guessing employees. So interestingly, the task force recommended that employees are the ones who should wear face masks. They did not say that guests had to. They did not say that everyone, of course, had to. They said that employees did, so it's very interesting. They also said that employees should get their temperature taken before each work day begins, each shift begins, and anyone who has a temperature who is not feeling well as an employee should be sent home. So again, this is not a final decision by the Orange County Task Force, but is their initial recommendation. We'll see what happens from here. All right, let's move on to the next question. This is kind of a fun one. So it involves one of my favorite treats, the Mickey bar. And I was kind of surprised when I found out this question. I'll publish the poll. And the question is, when were Mickey bars introduced? So for those of you who are Disney fans, you probably know that the Mickey bar is a delicious ice cream treat with vanilla ice cream in the middle and dark chocolate hard covered on the outside. Very good. So when were Mickey bars introduced? Was it 1956? Was it 1969 or was it 1985? So interestingly, someone who has been contributing articles to the World of Walt site, Sean Murphy, wrote a fascinating article about the history of Mickey bars, which was posted. If you didn't check it out, you might want to go over to worldofwalt.com and check it out. One interesting story is that ice cream bars back in the day used to have round pegs or round I don't know, wooden holders, I don't know what you call that, sticks. And Walt was concerned that people might trip on these round sticks, so he asked that they be made flat, and that's why pretty much all ice cream bars have flat sticks these days. Very interesting. Okay, so when were Mickey bars introduced? 1956, 1969, or 1985? Bob said, found Mickey bars at BJ's. I actually found them at my local Walgreens. And interesting tidbit from the article posted over at worldofwalt.com. The ones that you can buy in the store are not exactly the same as the ones that you buy in the parks. People have actually compared the ingredients as well as the fat and the calorie levels, and they're not exactly the same. I've also purchased the Mickey bars in my grocery store, and they're pretty good, actually. I like them. They're a nice treat, but definitely not as good, in my opinion, as the ones in the parks. But maybe that's just because anything in the parks is going to be a little bit better. Ginny's guessing 1985. Heather, 1985 as well. Misty said that was some great info. Had no idea. Thanks, Misty. Appreciate that. Dolores says that the Mickey bars are delicious, and I agree with you. Lisa found them at her local Kroger. All right, so about 13% of the people are guessing 1956. 38% are guessing 69, and 50% are guessing 1985. So those of you who guessed 1985, you are right. So a little bit surprising that Mickey bars are a relatively recent development, at least compared to the longevity of the Disney parks. A lot of folks, including me, kind of had this idea that Mickey bars must have been around since the very beginning, but they aren't. They're more of a relatively new development, so kind of fun. Beryl says the ones you buy in the park have pixie dust that makes them taste better. I think you're right. There's just something a little bit special about the ones that are exclusive to the parks and the Disney Cruise Line. Susan got that one wrong. Susan, that's okay. Thanks for playing along. It's just all part of the fun. Cassie said it was before you were born. Oh my goodness, you're making me feel old, but that's okay. There's always going to be someone older, always going to be someone younger. Debbie said the ones in the parks so much better. I agree with you there. HR is batting 1,000 today. That's okay. It's just part of the fun. Amy said, great question. Thank you very much. All right, so let's move on to the next question. Get this up one here. Oh, nope, that's not a next question yet. It's a time for a reminder about winning a pin today. So when I've been doing these broadcasts, it's been a lot of fun to share some prizes with you. Here's the prize I'm giving away this week. It is a Finding Nemo pin. It's kind of fun because it's got a 3D effect. The Nemo's at a different piece of metal, different level. So if you'd like to win this pin, here's what you can do. Send an email to me. Send it to the address info@worldofwalt.com, and in the subject put the word Nemo. You don't have to put anything in the body. Send me that note by Tuesday, May 5th. I'll pick out one lucky winner. I'll also make sure to post the winners on the website, and when you send me an email, I'll confirm that you are already signed up for the World of Walt weekly newsletter. It comes out every Monday morning. It's a great recap of all the news that's been happening in the world of Disney, and these days, even though the parks have been closed, it's surprising how much news is going on with the parks. Ted said share the video. Ted, thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. Todd said had ice cream bars in the parks back then, but not Mickey bars specifically. That is a very good clarification. Thank you, Todd. So it is true that the parks have had ice cream bars, but it's only since 1985 specifically that they've had Mickey bars, the ones that are shaped like a Mickey head. Carol Ann asked, are any new shirts coming out? Carol Ann, thank you for prompting me. I really need to get on that. I have not had any shirt designs in a while. Wasn't really sure if I was going to do any during this time, but I probably need to. So yeah, I think I'll see what I can do in the next week or two to get a new shirt design out there. You always can head over to worldofwaltstore.com and check out all the existing shirts. All the ones that have been offered in the past are up for sale there. Kathy likes the pin. Thank you, Kathy. Good luck to you and everyone else. Sherry shared the video. Sherry, thank you for doing that. I really appreciate everyone who likes and shares and comments. It's a great way to get the word out. Louise asks, has construction restarted? So some construction has continued. I did an interesting story about Reflections, the resort over at Fort Wilderness that continues on. There's some work in Flamingo Crossing that continues, but inside the parks we're just not sure. My guess is no. John posted the link to the World of Walt store, where you can get to the shirts and to the Pin a Month Club. Thanks for doing that. Elizabeth says, has the Main Street shirt. I think that's what that comment was. Thanks for that. Okay, let's move on to the next question and the next poll. This is another one about the Orange County Task Force, and actually this is one of the more interesting questions. Robert said, let Saturday begin. Robert, thank you. There is a shirt to that effect over at the worldofwaltstore.com. All right, so here's the question. The Orange County Task Force, which is the one that's been put together and controls what happens in Orange County, the home of Walt Disney World, has been putting together proposals on when theme parks and different businesses in the area can open. And so here's their question. When did they propose that Disney World can reopen? Did they say June 1st? Did they say June 1st, July 15th, or did they say whenever they want? Janet says, have a personalized Mickey mask a friend made. That's cool. Disney did announce on Shop Disney that they're going to be selling masks in 4-packs. I think maybe they already sold out. Barbie is guessing whenever they want. Deb is saying June 1st. Dean is saying today. I wish they would open today. I might be there today. Phyllis said it was up to Disney's discretion. Dennis, hello to you in New Jersey, still under quarantine. Diana said, need a Disney's Friends quarantine shirt. That's an interesting idea. Maybe I see if I can do something along that. So it looks like most people have heard this news, although we got kind of a split. So 45% of the people are saying June 1st, only 10% of the people are saying July 15th, and 47% of the people are saying whenever they want. So actually, the Orange County Task Force did recommend to the mayor that large theme parks, including Disney and Walt Disney World, should be able to open whenever they feel like it. Or whenever they want is maybe a nicer way to say it. So they're saying that the parks understand that they need to take precautions. They said that the public and social media will sort of make their votes. They will let the parks know what they think. Diana said, am I going to go to the parks right away? I'm going to need to see what the circumstances look like. I sure am very anxious to get back to the parks. My guess is that Disney is not going to do anything until they know that there's a reasonable safety for guests and cast members. So in all likelihood, I will be going back as soon as I can, as soon as the parks reopen. But I need to know a little bit more, and just like we're all waiting to hear the details. Terry said, joined reservation from June to August to November. Hopefully November is good. I sure hope so. All right, thanks for joining in on that question. Let's head over to the next one. Someone mentioned a haircut before, and this is the question I'm interested in because I've got haircuts on my head right now. Well, I don't have a haircut on my head, but I'd like to. Are you anxious to get a haircut? I'm wondering. I feel like there's a chance that maybe birds are going to come and nest in my hair. It's getting kind of thick up there. So I am looking forward to a time when eventually I can have a haircut. Can't have one right now, though. But how about you? Are you anxious to get a haircut? Let's see what your votes and comments are. Vera says, yes. Sharon said, do I miss you in the parks? Do you know when the parks are going to open? We don't have any news yet on when the parks are going to open. The local governments and various task forces are still making recommendations, doing analysis, and Disney has not yet made any announcements about when any of the facilities on their property are going to open. Mary Ellen said, no, but the boys in the house need it. Gotcha there. Tracy said, trip is the end of August, hoping to still be able to go. Beryl said, I've been chomping at my own. It's not recommended. Yep, it will be good when we can all go back to the professionals who know what they're doing. So 61% of the folks are saying they are anxious to get a haircut, and about 38% of people are saying no. Perhaps ladies who are growing out their hair, is a good time to do it. Tony said, watched home movies last night of our friend's last trip to Disney World. Sounds like fun. Mike said, surprised they haven't been scooped up and studied as caveman. Yes, these are interesting times, aren't they? Wendy said, husband wants to go to the dog groomer because they open first. This is creative thinking. Your husband is a very creative guy. All right. Joanne says, hopes the border between Canada and the U.S. will open so it can get back to Disney when it opens up. Yes, another very interesting set of questions to think about. So Disney, well, the county has got recommendations to make. Disney's got decisions to make, but they're all going to be impacted by what's happening at an international level as well, both within the U.S. and outside the U.S. So very interesting times. Stacy said, misses the ride videos. Thanks, Stacy. Appreciate that. She says, is it true that Disney is not going to open up until 2021? At this point, we don't know. There was one financial analyst who said in his estimation, he didn't think the parks were going to open up until 2021. There have been no decisions yet. My personal thought is that the parks will open up sometime this year, but we just don't know yet. We'll wait and see. All right, let's move on to our next question. As some of my questions tend to be, it's a little bit of a tricky one. Let's put it up here. Hopefully you'll get a chance to see it and vote. If it's not showing up on your device, hopefully you can put a comment in the chat section. Okay, so here's the question. Who is the current sponsor for Test Track at Epcot? Who is the current sponsor? And current is sort of a keyword there. Amanda said, misses riding the People Mover. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate that. I always am a big fan of the People Mover. Normally not a very long line, a great way to get a preview of what's going on in Tomorrowland. It's a fun one. Gary said, Chevrolet. Kathleen said, had to miss the April Disney trip. Yeah, Kathleen, I'm sorry to hear that. I know a lot of folks have had trips canceled. Donna said puppy needs a groomer too. Jennifer is guessing Chevrolet. Paul said keeping everything closed, getting ready for the holiday at the end of October. Carrie is saying Chevy. Okay, it seems like most people are getting this one right. 14% of the people are saying Tesla, 64% of the people are saying Chevrolet, and 22% of the people are saying General Motors. So this is a little bit of a trick question, as I like to do. So before the latest refurbishment, Test Track was sponsored by General Motors, but these days it is sponsored by Chevrolet. Fran says doesn't see the vote button. I know sometimes the technology with Facebook doesn't cooperate very well. What you can do is jump out of the broadcast and come back in either on the mobile or the browser, and oftentimes that will work. Tina guessed Chevrolet. Good job. Says love looking at the new cars at the end. It is a lot of fun. Debbie guessed Chevy. Good job. Let's see. Mary said needs a trip to Disney in her life ASAP. Stuck in New York. I hope we all get a chance to do a trip to Disney soon. All right, good job, everyone. Lots of good correct answers for the current sponsor of Test Track, which is Chevrolet. All right, let's see what we got next. So this one can sometimes be a little bit of a touchy subject, but I decided it's an interesting point of trivia, so I'm going to go ahead and fire it up in the poll. And here is the question. When did Mr. Toad's Wild Ride close in Walt Disney World? Was it 1989? Was it 1995? Or was it 1998? So when did Mr. Toad's Wild Ride close in Disney World? 89, 95, or 98? So when Mr. Toad's Wild Ride closed, it was eventually replaced by the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, an attraction which is still very popular and kind of fun too, and a little bit psychedelic actually. But Mr. Toad's Wild Ride does live on at Disneyland in California. I had a chance to check it out last time I was there. Dawn said had to cancel a trip. Tony is guessing 1998. That's a good guess. We'll see what the answer is in just a moment. Julie's guessing 98. Let's see. Carol Ann says Mr. Toad. Kathy got to ride Mr. Toad in Disneyland last summer. So yeah, it is good that Mr. Toad is still around. I think the rides between both coasts in Disney World and Disneyland are pretty similar. They definitely tell the same story. A very interesting story for a theme park ride for sure about Mr. Toad, who is a toad who wants to be able to drive. He's not very good at it. He ends up dying and going to that place that none of us want to go. So a fascinating storyline. Patricia said, not a haircut, need a pedicure. Oh, yes. We'll see what the timelines look like for spas to open up again. Mike is guessing 1995. Okay, so the question is, when did Mr. Toad's Wild Ride close at Disney World? Was it 89, 95, or 98? And actually, the right answer is 1998. So a lot of folks were upset when Mr. Toad said goodbye here on the East Coast. It sort of had a cult following, but I have to say that if I as a business had to choose between Mr. Toad or Winnie the Pooh, I've got to think that Winnie the Pooh's got a much bigger following. But Mr. Toad was an opening day attraction. May you rest in peace, Mr. Toad, in many different ways. But good news is you can still go to Disneyland and see him there. Chrissy's saying Hope can still go in September. Patty never had a chance to see Mr. Toad. He was definitely a prime example of what Disney did in the very early days to design dark rides. Very fun. If you compare it to the technology and the design aesthetics that you see in today's attractions, you can see it came from a different time and place, but it was still a great attraction, still a lot of fun. Cassie said remembers bits of the ride from when she was young. It was an interesting one. All right, there's the answer. 1998 is when Mr. Toad made way for the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. All right, so let's take a look at the next question. I'm going to go ahead and put the poll up. This is actually the last trivia question I have for today. And it's about the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, one of the most popular attractions in the Magic Kingdom. When the park closed, it still had lines that regularly stretched into 2 and 3 hours. If you could get a fast pass for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, would definitely recommend it. So here's the question. How long does the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train attraction last? Is it 2 minutes and 10 seconds, 2 minutes and 50 seconds, or 3 minutes and 30 seconds? Mike says, what's the first ride I'm going to take everyone on when it opens? I actually don't know. I guess it's going to depend on where I can go, what park is open, if I can get a fast pass. It may just be a stroll around the parks. Whatever it is, I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to get back into the parks once Disney has made some announcements and we can all have some Disney fun again together. Rachel is a Seven Dwarfs Mine Train fan. Me too. Sherry's guessing 3 minutes. It's surprising one of these answers is right, and they're all a pretty short period of time. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train does not last very long, but you do get to see and do a lot. I think it's a great example of how Disney creates very unique and compelling attractions. It's fun that it's got some thrills, but it's still good for the whole family. It's got great audio animatronics and a fun ride, fun story. So it's a popular one with good reason. So how long does the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train last? 2 minutes and 10 seconds, 2 minutes and 50 seconds, or 3 minutes and 30 seconds? So the answer is, get the answer up here, 2 minutes and 50 seconds. 2 minutes and 50 seconds, so less than 3 minutes, but it is a fun attraction. Definitely recommend getting a fast pass for it if you can. Kathy says, loves the gardens around it, wish could see inside. It is fun to be able to walk through the forested area before you get into the vault and into the mine train itself. Beryl said, thanks for a little bit of Saturday morning fun. Thanks for being here, Beryl. I appreciate that. Diana said, what park would you like to see open first and why? That's a good question. It's a very good question. I know that the Magic Kingdom has an especially large capacity, so I think there's a vote for the Magic Kingdom. But interestingly, Animal Kingdom has got a number of attractions that are largely outside, and if Disney wants to do some things to make sure that outside attractions are the ones that open first or open primarily, there are a number of good attractions there like the Kilimanjaro Safaris or Expedition Everest, some of the rides in Dinoland USA. So I'm not sure. If it were me and I didn't really have to think about medical and other factors, I would probably guess the Magic Kingdom just because it is the classic. Terry said, any new pins? So I am giving away a pin. You can send an email to me at info@worldofwalt.com and put the word Nemo in it. So maybe that's what you're referring to. Don got it right at 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Cheryl said he's going to take whatever goes first. Larry said June 7th is looming. Will we be able to go? Don't know yet. I sure hope so. I'm hopeful that maybe we'll get something opening this month, especially since a lot of other businesses like restaurants and shops are opening, and a lot of what Disney has is restaurants and shops. I'm hoping that if the parks can't open in the upcoming weeks, maybe Disney Springs, but that's just my speculation. We will find out. Heather said, thanks for a great distraction. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. All right, so that's about all I've got for today. I'm going to head off with a picture of Dinosaur Gertie, which you can see in the Echo Lake section of Disney's Hollywood Studios. One of the first animated characters, not a Disney character, interestingly, but Disney wanted to pay tribute to Dinosaur Gertie, so a lot of fun. Missy said, what's the word for the email again? Oh, Nemo, N-E-M-O. So if you want to be entered to enter the pin, send an email to me at info@worldofwalt.com, and in the subject line, put the word Nemo. Amanda said, wonderful spending time. Love the Disney trivia. Thank you so much. Pamela, appreciate your being here. Debbie, I hope you have a great day as well. So thanks for joining me on this live video today from home. Parks have been shut down for an amazing 48 days ever since March 15th. So I have not been able to get out on Saturday mornings and do the live broadcast in the parks, but I'm happy that we can still spend a little bit of time together doing some Disney trivia here. Debbie says, love spending Saturday mornings with a cup of coffee and World of Walt. Thank you for that. All right, everyone. Thanks again for joining me. I appreciate your playing along, and I hope you have a great weekend and a wonderful week ahead. And until next time, God bless.